Do you know why most projects end up with unsuccessful results or unsatisfaction from the client because they're not getting what they thought they would be getting? Have you had a situation where you've been so mad with a vendor because the expectations of what you were getting were a lot more higher than what you got? Did you find yourself in a situation where the vendor tells you, oh, that wasn't part of the scope? Do you need that? If you need that, we'll need to do a contract variation, or that's going to be additional. These are all symptoms of one single thing in procurement: lack of pre-planning during the tender process. See, what the traditional RFP process or the tendering process in general has been lacking consistently is the pre-planning concept. So what typically happens in the traditional RFP process is you put together your scope, your requirements, do all the research, all the stuff, and put the RFP document, release it to the market. You'll get proposals, and then you evaluate them. Once you evaluate them, you shortlist them, and then you invite suppliers for interviews, and then you do a second round of shortlisting with maybe one or two vendors, and you go into a negotiation phase with them. And what happens in negotiation? You're typically finalizing contract terms and conditions, maybe discussing a bit about the commercial agreement, trying to maybe get a better deal, better price, better delivery system, better something, and then you go into the signing or the contract execution phase. And during all this journey, who you have been dealing with from the vendor side? You typically, in the majority of cases, you're dealing with the sales, the marketing, the business development people. The people that their only job is to just get what? Get the work. They don't do the work. So once you sign the contract, these people that you have been dealing with them extensively over this period, they will disappear. And then the execution team from the vendor side comes in. You haven't met them before. You haven't spoken to them before. You have no idea what level of skills or expertise they have. You have no idea what level of understanding of the project or the requirements are. You have no visibility to these people before. And that team will come in and they will start doing a kickoff meeting for your project. And they will try to discuss, all right, based on this, what we're going to do is that, how about we do this? What is the requirement exactly on this part? And they will start doing some discovery work with you. And that's really where all the problems comes in. You start having problems with the people you're working with, the people expertise and their understanding of the project, and the level of alignment between the two parties about how this project is going to unfold and what exactly is going to be in place from the vendor side. And when the vendor comes with poor or average performance at the time, you just get through it with the vendor because you really can't afford to repeat the whole cycle again with another vendor. You sign the contract, you've executed the contract, your management probably happy because you achieved that milestone, which is a big problem looking at the contract as a target in itself. And we're all trying to work to achieve that target. That is a problem. And you just go through it with the vendor. Unless they're really so bad, then you pose everything and maybe take them to court. But in the majority of cases, you just end up accepting an average performance or an average results or not 100% successful projects or not complete projects because of the lack of planning. So what do we need to do in order to fix this? Obviously, we've just learned now that doing the pre-planning after you sign the contract is a challenge, right? The other thing is, if you started to do the pre-planning during the tender process without having the people that at least will lead the delivery of your project, you're going to have problems. Because doing pre-planning with sales and marketing, it's exactly like bringing them for a presentation. They're going to give you all the promises you want to hear. They're going to tell you we're going to do that. And we're going to meet all, and we're going to work with you to develop the best strategies to come up to this and do that and do this. That's not the sort of pre-planning that we're talking about. So in order to fix this problem, you really need to invite that one or two or three key personnel from the vendor that will actually be part of the execution team, who will be leading the delivery of your project and service. And during negotiation in parallel with finalizing the terms and conditions of the contract, you really need to work with these people to pre-plan and to make sure there is a full alignment between the two parties before you rush into contract execution. You need to identify those experts from each vendor early enough in the process. So when you come to the clarification or do the negotiation with the supplier, you are very confident that you are dealing with the expert in the industry. People that are smart, people that really have high level of skills and expertise. And once you pre-plan with that expert, the majority of the problems, the majority of the risks will disappear. Give this a go in your procurement and see what sort of impact that will have. You will start to see higher satisfaction from the end client, cost savings, cost optimization, time savings. You'll start to have projects now that finishing on time, on budget, with really high satisfaction.